Well, you know, one of the real puzzles in this whole thing is that Julius Rosenwald is one of the great Jewish figures in history that nobody knows.
That's going to change.
I know. So the question is really why? I mean, why is this? The man spent billions of dollars, really, everything he had to do something for black Americans. And we're at a time in history when we need him so much. You know, we, the Jewish people, need him so much, and the world needs him so much. I mean, all these people sitting around with money and with all the things that they could do. I always thought that one of the big important things about him was that he was asked to be on the Rockefeller board. And he said at that time that with sort of awe, Mr. Rockefeller sat me beside him. Now, you know, I've been in philanthropy really for most of my career. And the Rockefellers thought on a big scale, always a big scale. They were not making small grants. They were, you know, changing New York City, building great, looking across the country at the whole future of food and the world, that sort of thing. I have a feeling that something happened to Rosenwald sitting in those, he was the only Jew on the Rockefeller board and the first Jew on the Rockefeller board. And I just have a sense of the fact that this touched him greatly, the power of the possibility of what could be done. Why isn't he more celebrated? Why wasn't he embraced? Well, the thing that's so crucial about this is there was a parallel drama going on, and it was the Leo Frank case down in Atlanta. I spent a lot of time down there interviewing people who remembered the Leo Frank trial, remember the day their mother came and dragged them out of school and took them home because of how the decision ended, all of that. And it created such a dark mood in Atlanta that let's see, half the 3,000 Jews who lived there left the state. They didn't want to do it, and
a great migration in itself.
Yeah, it really was, and therefore, the idea of embracing Rosenwald in a situation like that, when they all felt threatened. As I traveled through the South, I went 5,000 miles through the South interviewing people. This fear that came over them because Leo Frank was a very distinguished businessman in the city. He was very active in Jewish affairs. All of a sudden, he got caught up in this thing, and the newspapers that were sort of bigoted just laid it on him as a murderer and demanded that something be done. And when the decision came down, the governor of the state would not let it happen. So he was free, he thought, for a moment, but yet jailed. And you know, the story is the jail was broken into, he was taken out, he was taken up to the place where Mary Fagan, who was the young girl's name, lived, and was lynched from this tree. And they left the body up there for a long, it was a horrifying moment in Jewish history, to tell you the truth. But in the face of all that, I just think we miss Julius Rosenwald.